Was that? Yeah, I did get him up. Hello, Rogers. Where are the spoilers on your car? Dad joke. I'm sorry. I apologize for the dad joke. I'm getting old, though. It's to be expected. No, this episode was so much better than anything than any of the other episodes in this season. I've been awake a while, but it doesn't sound like it. What is going on? Hey, look, it's Grogu in a little mech, I guess you could call it. That's what we're gonna have to call those ATRPs now every time we see one. Oh, it's Grogu! Yeah, no, that actually excites me, Captain Hook. I fucking love this Shadow Council. I'm so excited. I wish they had hinted at that earlier, so it could have built up. But I love the idea behind that, and I'm glad they're bringing that to live action. And like, I did get the vibe, like you have what's his name, Pelion. He is still, as in the other stuff, he's loyal to Thrawn. Oh, let me hear the donation.
Looks like trouble.
I appreciate it, Eldar. I will do that for you, good sir. So you still have Pelion being loyal to Thrawn, which I absolutely love. Look just like him. So that's good. And then you have Hux, which, you know, I mean, I just don't like the name Hux in general, but hopefully he's better than his son. I think that's what they're going to try to go at. He's probably going to be more of the smart one, and sadly when Thrawn and everyone's defeated, the lesser individuals take over, like his son, for example. So I like where it's going. But my main thing was Gideon was talking shit about Thrawn, and I don't think that's going to go over well. Thrawn's going to come out when the time's right. So much so, we're just spitballing here. We're going to jump forward here real quick just to briefly talk about this. But so there's going to be a space, or not a space battle, there's going to be a air battle essentially with the Mandalorian fleet and Gideon's forces. New Republic is probably going to show up on the side of the rebels, or not the rebels, on the side of the Mandalorians. Maybe Boba, maybe some of them, and I'll explain why I think it could be him later. But the main thing is, if Gideon's going to get defeated this season, you might see Thrawn come out just to make a move. Like, he's like, you want to fucking talk, bro? Because you heard on the Shadow Council, I don't know the other guy's name who was suggesting it, but they were basically saying they have imperialist loyalists, like just the people all over on all the planets, but they're just kind of in hiding because there's really no Imperials out there doing anything. And he was suggesting if we had a show of force, it could win over some to our cause. So you see where some of these Imperials want to come out and just start openly fighting again to try to win the people's favor back over, or get their loyalists out of hiding. So you could be seeing that. Like, you're seeing some want to fight, some are like, we need to stay secretive. Like Pelion's like, we need to keep Thrawn secret. Thrawn is obviously like, I'm not coming out unless I have to, homie. But that his move could be getting forced. If he starts feeling like he's gonna lose control of the council, he might have to come out and, you know, lay down the pipe on Gideon's ass. You know what I'm saying? You gotta shove it in there. You know what I'm saying? But so that's gonna be interesting, because this next episode, there's so many theories already, and a lot of them are plausible, which I really like. This is the type of shit I like, where there's so much that could happen. Not all of it will, but there's so many plausible... Tank, leave me alone, bro. I'm trying to have a conversation here. There's so many things that could happen. Oh shit, he's coming this way. I thought he was going the other way. I was scratching. But I love the direction they're going. I just wish they didn't wait until this long into the season to start hinting at it, which really kind of, I don't want to say saddening, it's a little dramatic, but, you know, kind of along those lines. It's like, it could have been better, I think. The season could have been better, but we're getting to the good shit right now, at least for what I'm interested in. I'm not here for just the cute Grogu shit, and I want some good writing, and I want to set up Thrawn and have actual battles, which we are on the verge of, which I'm excited. We're going to see an actual, like, it's basically a space battle here, which I think is pretty cool. Hopefully it's good, but there's three main factions I wouldn't be surprised showing up tomorrow for this fight, besides Gideon and the Mandos. It would be it would be Boba, And I'll explain that in a second. Well, I'll just explain it now. Eckhart's Ladder, he was doing a breakdown, and he loves fleet stuff like I do. I didn't notice this when I watched. I noticed the fleet was smaller, but I didn't go into details. But he broke it down. When you see the Mandalorian fleet over Navarro, he counted the ships. They had much more gauntlets, and they had 5 Gazanti frigates, or whatever you want to call that little thing. They had 5 Gazantis. When they came out of hyperspace over Mandalore, they did not have as many gauntlets, and one of the Gazantis is not there, so they're off doing something else. And I agree with what he says. I don't think that was an accident. I think that part of the fleet is off gathering more Mandalorians, which could be Boba, could be other stuff, I don't know. Or they could come in late as some brief reinforcements. But I don't think one Gazanti and a few gauntlet fighters are going to do much. But that is the interesting thing. But you could also have the New Republic, because again, remember, they are believing the Mandalorians are the ones who rescued Gideon. So they're probably like, yo, man, let's go to Mandalore and see what's going on with these dumbass Mandos. They might show up in the middle of the fight like, what in the fuck? We got Mandos fighting Imperials? That is going to be I think that's actually very likely to happen. That's probably the most likely out of the 3 appearances I think are going to happen for this battle. New Republic's going to show up looking for the Mandos, and they're going to be a little confused because they see Imperials fighting those Mandos. They were there, and they're like, wait, what? So that's going to be an eye-opening experience for some of the New Republic who don't believe in that the Empire's really rising up again. So that's going to help lead into Ahsoka. And again, Thrawn could show up at the last fight for whatever reason. But he might just be there to... The scale they're giving me with the Shadow Council, which I like. I want the Imperials to be massive. I don't want just one guy with a few ships. I want it to be big. So having this many kind of makes me think like... How do you describe it? They're big enough to be going after planets that want resources. Now, Gideon clearly has a base set up on Mandalore, and he's mining Beskar. Well, wouldn't Thrawn want that? Like, okay, this guy's talking shit. He don't like me. Let's go in. Maybe he's failing against the Mandos. Maybe he's winning, and then Thrawn shows up. Who knows? But Thrawn's going to make a move and take out Gideon and probably capture Mandalore for himself. I'm not sure the Mandalorians are going to hold Mandalore, especially if Thrawn's going to show up. That's going to be a pretty big surprise they're going to have to fight. So I don't think that's going to happen. Not yet, anyway. But that could be the end of Gideon, and then Thrawn now has the remnants of Gideon's forces, and now he has the Beskar on Mandalore, which could come into play later as well. So there's a lot of theories. You know, we're just spitballing. None of these could be right, or all of them could be right. We have no idea. But I think something along those lines could be happening here. But him talking shit about Thrawn and calling him out, I don't think is something to gloss over. I think Thrawn's not going to like me. Let's put it that way. Like, oh, this motherfucker already lost twice and about to lose a 3rd time, and he has the nerve to talk shit about me. Like, okay, dude, I kind of want what you have, bro. Again, I get the vibe Gideon doesn't really have much of a fleet. He just has some interceptors and some TIE bombers, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We can't let Mandalore fall into Mandalorian hands. Maybe he'll show up and have some like witty line like that. Like, oh, you know, I don't know. Yeah, he was saying stuff. He wanted a little bit of the best of both worlds. He wanted some Force dudes too. But at the same time, I look at it kind of like this. At least this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but on the Shadow Council you have Hux. He's the main First Order guy. He's trying to set up the First Order, but he's working with the Imperials. Pelion, I get, is more of an Imperial loyalist. He's working along with the First Order, but he's more of an Imperial. And then you have the other Imperials. And when Hux is talking to Gideon, he asks, what is your, I'm not going to word it right, but what's going on with basically your cloning project? So Gideon is working on cloning for himself, but also then giving information to Gideon, which would lead towards, giving information to Hux, which would lead towards Palpatine. And I'm assuming Operation Necromancer is Palpatine, because they literally said we need a new leader, and Hux was like, don't worry, Operation Necromancer is seen to that. Basically saying Palpatine's coming back, basically. Is the way I interpret it. I could be wrong, though. But that's the way I interpreted that. So Operation Necromancer is to save or clone Palpatine. So he's working for himself, Gideon is, but he's also working for the new First Order because he's been asked to, you know. Yeah, I actually, as much as I don't think Disney will kill Din Djarin for a lot of reasons, I was getting a little nervous when they had him there. I was like, dude, this if they wanted to make me like it, I'm like, dude, chop his head off. I don't give a shit what people saying. Like, if his story is done, let's make it done, bro. Let's not fucking drag it out and overdo it where we're gonna see him and Grogu at 90 years old and shit, and Mando's about to die of old age. If they're gonna just butcher Din's writing, just have him get his head chopped off right here, like, oh, I didn't think it would happen, but if I was like, I'm so in love with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, I'm like, shit, man, this was on that, man. We would be getting him beheaded right now to antagonize him, but I just don't get why Bo-Katan couldn't use the Darksaber to go through the door that way. They could use it to go through the door to the back. That was a little bit of a little annoying to me. I love the episode, but there was a little bit of a couple times I had to question some of the shit. Like, what? You can't use the damn sword to go through? Like, you just stare at him and keep shooting the window, but you'll use it to go back? Like, and let's be honest, dude. Let's be honest, man. Fucking Paz Vizsla took out all of them. There's too many. I'm like, as much as I like that scene, like, this is the way, and he goes out fighting. I'm like, dude, there's too many, but then you literally soloed all of the guys you were talking about. You didn't know there was Praetorian Guard, so he wasn't talking about that. But all the dudes, he was saying there were too many for all the Mandalorians to handle. He alone took them all out. Like, that's where the writing sometimes, like, you gotta try to make it a little more believable for me at least. Like, there's too many. Literally solos all of them. Like, wait, what? I thought they were good. Then you literally lit all of those motherfuckers up. Like, what happened? So if all the Mandalorians had stayed and went through the door, they could have easily rescued Paz and still taken out the Praetorians, probably. Because I don't think the Praetorians would have held up against that many Mandos. So it's like, what? That part's a little weird to me. Yeah, I know that's Hux's father. He's setting up the First Order. That's not the Hux. Thank God that's not the Hux we saw in the sequels. Thank God, dude. That's what I was saying earlier, where it's like, this guy's gonna be the smart Hux, gonna help set up the First Order, and then when he dies, it goes to his son, and then the idiots basically ruin the First Order. That's a way to explain the stupidity in the sequels, and like, wow, these guys are so fucking dumb. Like, that's a better way of doing it than, I was getting nervous, like, please, when I heard Hux, I didn't look at him clearly, I was like, oh, please don't be the Hux. I'm like, I don't think it could be. He wasn't that old in the sequel, so I'm like, I don't think that was him. I'm like, okay, it's his dad, thank God. But it was a good episode. They should have set up a lot of this stuff a lot earlier, in my opinion. Made this season go over a little better, where they just, I was going to get Boba because he's probably going to be in this next episode. And he'll probably be a badass too in this next episode, which is going to be funny. Like, you can be a badass in Mando, but you can't be a badass in Boba? What happened, Boba? Be a badass in your own show, please. You know, but still, it'll be cool to see Boba. Still, we're not positive he's coming back, but I think they would for multiple reasons. Then Fennec will probably be with them. Maybe they'll even go into some character development, or maybe not character development, but Boba's crime syndicate, whatever you want to call it, development. He might have more forces now, so it's not going to just be Boba, Fennec, and then God, please not the fucking Power Rangers. Jesus Christ. Maybe he'll have a few ships of his own. Nothing big, not like Star Destroyers. You know, he might have a little something, something. You know, you gotta have a little something, something if you're a warlord, I think, you know. No, they're gonna do sequel stuff. I don't know why so many people are surprised they're going into the sequels. They literally stated that years ago. They're gonna try to fix up the story as much as they can. Guess you could say Gideon bluff. By the way, Gideon though, even though I kind of want him dead, but damn, bro, that fucking armor made me want to come in my panties. I'm like, dude, bro, daddy over here, shit. Thrawn's still gonna fuck your ass or fuck your ass up, armor or not, but gotta admit it looks good. Side note, let's get into that. There's something going on with the armor. I think she's a spy. A lot of people are saying it, but I mean, there's a lot of evidence I'll give right now just from this episode, but they both got fucking spiky helmets. I don't know if that's a thing or a coincidence. They both got spiky helmets, okay? That's the littlest of clues. But she literally leaves right before the action takes place, which I could kind of get. You got to get rid of the wounded. I get that, you know. But now she's going to the fleet. And side note, I thought they were going to have a fleet jump out of hyperspace when they had the shot where she's flying back and sees the fleet. But I kind of get in the vibe she's not a good guy right now. Like, even more. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't really care, honestly. But gotta keep your eye on that bitch. She a sneaky bitch. Uh-oh, there's a fin now. I think anyway. Did I not dash? I guess I did not dash. I still think they're more likely not going to kill Din, though. I think it's going to be... They're going to want to keep Grogu and Din as long as they can together. I think he'll get rescued, but if this was more like Game of Thrones, that would have been the time to kill Din right there, but yeah, Disney and HBO, they're not on the same ballpark. Just put it that way. That's saying it might have been. I was like, that would have been a shocking moment. I would have... It could have been a cool moment. Imagine killing Din in front of Baby Yoda, who's powerful but doesn't know how to like rein it in yet, and he just goes like fucking grabs them all. I was screaming in the scene too, like, Din, say force choke or something, dude. Yoda can go through that shit, man. I know he's Grogu, by the way, but I'm calling him Yoda because fuck you. It's like, do something, you stupid baby. Why you standing there? Do something. He just sat there like, oh no, my daddy. Like, what happened? Force choke. I don't give a fuck. Din Djarin's not a Jedi. He doesn't believe in good and bad. He's like, just choke this motherfucker, man. Damn. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not happening. I just hope they set it up well, and then the sequels are going to be butchered then. I don't know. There's something about the armor. I don't know. I'm getting the vibe. I don't know. She always disappears right before that shit happens. And I don't know. We'll see, though. Who knows? Because you want to know one thing, I'll give a little bit of evidence why I think she's alive, and I think is the biggest reason. If you remember back from the other episodes when she's working on her armor, what do you call it? What's the thing called? Where they make the armor. They literally just talked about this shit. What the fuck? Anyway, the forge. There you go. She already had water from the mines of Mandalore. Remember? But nobody's been there in a while, and I doubt she was able to escape with that much water, especially as it's getting used. And Gideon says he's building up his own Mandalore, basically. I'm kind of getting the vibe. She knows that he's there. He has a base there. She's getting supplied from him, but out there doing a little spying shit on the rest of the Mandalorians. So I'm getting the vibe that she's probably a Gideon loyalist, which will be an interesting thing. So you could, if that there again, there's so many ideas. We're just spitballing here. If that's true, and Din does survive, you could see Bo-Katan be the leader of Mandalorians in general, but Din be the leader of the crazy ones who don't take off their helmet. Basically, he'll fucking eat her ass or something, just destroy her, and then he'll be the new ruler. Especially since Paz is already dead too. He's kind of the next high ranker, I would imagine, in that group. Still probably all report to Bo, though, especially after the fight, and if they win. Who knows? I'm still not entirely sure they'll even be able to keep Mandalore right now. They might have to fall back off Mandalore, especially if Thrawn shows up. I don't think they're going to have enough firepower. And even realistically speaking, even if the New Republic comes there, I don't think they're going to be coming with a big fleet. They're like, oh, there's just some Mandalorians causing problems. I don't think they're going to come with enough forces that would be able to deal with Thrawn if he showed up with the 7th Fleet or something. Like, they're not going to have the firepower to take out Thrawn there. So, in theory, again, there's many things that need to happen to get to that. You could very well see the Mandalorians not even be able to hold Mandalore for this battle, and they'll have to come back later in future shit where it's just like, okay, this ain't going to work. Because we know the Mandoverse, they keep calling it that, is not over yet. That's going to go until the movie, so there's still a lot of time. I couldn't shoot because it was the shields were already down, and then there's one behind us. Yeah, I mean, they both have spiky helmets. I think that's the worst evidence out of it all, though. Look, spiky helmet. That's kind of easy, but where is she getting the water? That's what I want to know. If she can't be going to the mines of Mandalore, where's she getting all this water? She dumped the water that Din brought into more water of that stuff, and it confirmed it was it. So where did she get all the water then? I doubt you're just going around with that, and I'm not an expert on forging, but I would imagine dipping all that iron in there would, over time, start evaporating the water. So I don't think... I really think she's on Gideon's side. I don't know. And part of the reason I'll give it... This is a little bit of random evidence just for me, but... This season's been so fucking boring for the most part. There hasn't been much going on. They're gonna probably have a bunch of shit going on in the next episode, or leading into the next shows as well. So there's probably gonna be a lot of different shit happening.
Unidentified enemy now landing.
I don't care if you think the show's trash or good. If you think either, you explain why. Otherwise, don't talk. Show sucks! And then you don't talk. Nobody cares about your opinion, dude. Either go into why you think that, and we can have a conversation, or don't even bother talking. It's boring. Your show sucks! Sounds like a kid. You're stupid! And you're like, okay, that's all you can say, kid? Like, all right. Gotta go into it. Go into it more, please. Oh, that's right, we need a killstreak banger. I'm glad you mentioned it. Hey, Boba, are you gonna be in next episode? Let's switch to it right now, I did forget. Glad you reminded. How do I even switch star cards? Let's get rid of the ion grenade, I guess. Is this killstreak? Yeah. Glad you mentioned it, I did forget. My apologies. Yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of the IG mech thing. It was funny, but I'm not the biggest fan of that. But they'll outgrow it at some point. The side note, I love fleet combat and shit like that, and the Mandalorian fleet looks good. I know it's realistically not that big of a fleet, obviously, but bigger than the shit we've gotten recently. So I can't wait, man. I think that's good. If they actually have Thrawn have his fleet, oh my goodness gracious. And then how many, let's say Thrawn makes a power move to secure loyalty of all the members on the Shadow Council. And he takes out Gideon, or maybe he'll take out another guy who... There's a lot of dudes there who I have no idea who they were.
Starting kill sweep.
You definitely know Hux and Pelion are on Thrawn's side as of now. Gideon, I don't think is going to be much of a problem for long. Even if he survives this season going into where we'll see him next, I don't think he's going to be around long. But I could be wrong. I kind of don't want Gideon to survive again, man. This is if he loses this battle, this is already the third time he's lost to the Mandalorians. Fucking kill him. And side note, I know this is Star Wars and it doesn't make sense to, you know, it's not good to kill people, but damn, he should have killed Din Djarin when he had the chance. He should have just chopped that motherfucker's head off right then and there, but he didn't. And I'm sure they'll try to write it in like, oh, he has intel or something. Trying to lure him into a trap. I was a little annoyed. This is a small nitpick. It's not big. I don't really care. But when they first got ambushed and the Gideon troopers started running, I'm like, dude, these guys are leading you into a trap. Stop running. You guys are Mandalorians. You should know better. Stop. This is going to be a trap. This is going to be a trap. It screams trap when they start running in a certain organized way. They know where they're going to lure you somewhere. And the Mandalorians just blindly ran after them. I'm like, again, it's a small nitpick, but they keep saying the Mandalorians are these amazing warriors, just badass motherfuckers, and they don't seem that smart to me a lot of the time. But again, how much of that is just writing to get to the next scene, and how much of that is the Mandalorians actually being dumb? But I'm like, these guys are running, they're going somewhere, this is a trap, they're going to lure you, oh, in a small hallway, let's go in a hallway, this is going to go bad, and I wish I was reacting to that, because I was like screaming that shit, like, stop chasing them, stop, regroup, this is going to be a trap. There you go. I didn't even know the title was Spies. I didn't know that, so... Damn. That really makes me think it's the armor. I genuinely didn't even pay attention to the title. Jesus Christ, I should probably do that more. I get the vibe this season is gonna be more... The ending of the season is gonna be more along the lines of like the Empire Strikes Back. Like obviously the good guys aren't all dead, but I don't think you can give them a win. I think it's gonna be more of a Imperial victory. Whether that's Thrawn or Gideon, I think it's gonna be those guys getting the best of the situation. If I had to pick, I would say Thrawn's gonna lose this fight. The Mandalorians are gonna be thinking they did good. And the New Republic will be there. I think the New Republic's gonna help. And then, all of a sudden, a Chimera comes out of hyperspace and just fucks shit up. Mandalorians take a big L losing their fleet. Or maybe damaging it. Maybe they'll run. I don't know. But Thrawn does like into distance, but I don't know if he'd be bringing it just to fight the Mandalorians. But who knows? Who knows? But that would also, assuming the New Republic goes and helps, that would also help set up Ahsoka, because now they can confirm there's an Imperial remnant. And if Thrawn shows up, I think he should have a big fleet. Like, we've already been seeing Bo-Katan's fleet, and it's like, oh, look at this big fleet. Realistically, if you're a Star Wars ship guy, this fleet's not that good. It's cool, it looks good, but in terms of its capabilities, it's nothing compared to an Imperial fleet, like of Star Destroyers. That fleet is laughable. It wouldn't do shit. So if Thrawn shows up with just massive fleet, the New Republic guy, I'm probably forgetting his, well, not probably, I am forgetting his name. The little Asian dude who's always going around telling them something's going on out there. You know, the X-Wing pilot. He's going to be there with maybe Zeb. Maybe Zeb. Maybe some of the, maybe, we're spitting maybes here. Maybe Phoenix Crew or whatever they're called, Hera's little ship. They might show up to like, let's go see what's going on over here. We ain't got nothing going on. At least Zeb, he seems a little trigger happy. He looked kind of bored. But either way, someone of the New Republic is going to show up going after the Mandalorians, and then they're going to see that Thrawn, or they might not necessarily know it's Thrawn, but they'll know that some big Imperial has a fucking fleet here. We needed to go into action against them. Like, this isn't just like some little warlord with a few loyalists. Like, he's got a fleet, dude. He's rebuilding some shit. And that would lead into Ahsoka, where they're going to have to go after him. But, again, there is a problem with that theory, though. If Ahsoka's timeline is being shot parallel to the Mandalorian, then the New Republic wouldn't know going into it. At least not from that. They might have known another way, but... So, I don't know. That's where it's not a perfect theory, but... We've got to look at all options on the table, of course. Maybe they wouldn't know in the beginning of Ahsoka. That's her just tracking her down, and towards the end of Ahsoka, the New Republic will find out because of what happens to the Mandalorian. I don't know. They could shoot that a few ways. Realistically, though, Kazantes and that little Arcutessence or whatever it's called aren't going to do much to a Star Destroyer. I'd be more worried of the fighters if I was Thrawn coming out of hyperspace to fight him. But again, if he has the 7th fleet, those few starfighters shouldn't do that much. But again, I'm also thinking, as bad as I hate to say realistically in Star Wars, it's not realistically, but Empire of War, let's put it that way, that wouldn't really do anything to Thrawn's fleet. You would be able to say overwhelm those fighters quickly, take them out. But if you're looking at it from the movie standpoint, you have Poe fucking Dameron taking out a fucking dreadnought by himself, so just flying up and disarming it, and it's like, so who knows? It depends on how they're going to want to film this. I think they'll go more down the let's make this good route than just one dude and one starfighter taking out Thrawn's fleet or damaging it, so. Especially in the beginning, I don't think that'll happen. I think they got to give Thrawn some wins. Because again, maybe all of us know about his backstory and how badass he is. But to a lot of people who are just watching Star Wars, just getting into it and have no idea who Thrawn is, they need to set him up that he's a badass. We already know it, but they don't. So they're going to have to show that. So Thrawn's going to have some W's here early, I would imagine. You should watch The Mandalorian.
We're stationed on the brink! Hostile action!
I might. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't.
Point sweep, I've got
I
points.
was thinking how I'd do the finale. I almost screamed yesterday, but I didn't do it. There were too many people walking around in the background, and it was gonna annoy me. And I didn't want to wait to watch it. But maybe I wouldn't even have the Mandalorian show on the screen. It would just be me live streaming while I'm watching it. But you wouldn't see. Yeah, you would have to watch it on your own stuff. But you'd be able to see my reaction along to it. We'll just tell like when to start. Like, all right, press start now, and then we start watching together. That would be more likely what I do. I wouldn't have it on screen yet. We don't know if Thrawn has TIE defenders. That program got fucked up. I hope he does, though. And I agree. If he has TIE defenders, I don't think the gauntlets would be much of a challenge. But they are main characters in them. At least some of them, so who knows. And side note, another bit, speaking of gauntlets, why I think the armor is the spy. There's been a lot of emphasis on you can't get messages off planet up to the fleet. So the best way off planet is the gauntlet that I think they only came down in one ship, right? And who took the ship? So the people on the ground would be trapped as they go into a trap. The armor. So the people on the ground, unless there's another ship, they're trapped and can't get a message out.
They're on their right.
So at some point next episode, I would imagine someone on the Mandalorian ground team is going to have to steal an interceptor or some form of Imperial ship from Gideon and fly up there and be like, oh, hold it, don't shoot! Friendly here! We need backup on the ground. You know, like something like that. I think that will have to happen because I'm betting that she's the spy. She has to be. There's too many things going on here.